When my wife said she needed a break from us, I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I didn't cry. I just nodded like a man who'd already seen the ending of his story coming for a long time. We'd been married 10 years, and somewhere between work, bills, and raising our daughter, we lost that spark people talk about in movies. The laughter, the touch, the look that used to say everything without words. So when she dropped that line, I just need space. I need time to think. I gave her exactly what she asked for, but maybe I gave her too much. Maybe I decided I was done being the man waiting around for a woman who'd already checked out emotionally. So when her younger sister Megan showed up at our door that same weekend, heartbroken, recently dumped, looking for a place to crash, I didn't see the chaos that was about to unfold. I just saw someone who looked at me the way my wife used to. Megan had that same laugh, the same freckles across her nose, the same dark hair that caught the light when she turned her head. They were sisters after all, but where my wife had grown cold and careful, Megan was warm, spontaneous, alive. She stayed in our guest room, and that first night, we stayed up late drinking wine, talking about everything, life, love, how people drift apart even when they swear they won't. I told her about how her sister and I had turned into strangers living under the same roof. And she told me about her ex who cheated, and somehow, between all the pain and confession, there was comfort, the kind that shouldn't have been there. The next morning, I woke up to find her cooking breakfast, wearing one of my wife's oversized shirts. She smiled and said, "You look like you haven't eaten a home-cooked meal in weeks." And she was right. My wife had stopped cooking months ago, claiming she was too tired after work, so I'd gotten used to takeout in silence. But that morning, for the first time in a long time, the house felt alive again. There was laughter, music, the smell of coffee, and a woman who actually looked at me like she saw me. That's when the idea hit me, a stupid, reckless idea born out of hurt and pride. If my wife needed space, fine. I'd take some space of my own. I told Megan I was heading to the coast for a few days to clear my mind, to get away from everything. And before I could even think it through, I asked her if she wanted to come. She hesitated at first. "Isn't that weird?" she asked, but I just shrugged. "We both need a break," I said. And somehow, that made sense. We drove 6 hours down to the Keys, the ocean glittering like glass beside us. We didn't talk much at first, but the silence wasn't awkward. It was freeing. Every mile between us and my old life felt like a weight lifting off my chest. By the time we reached the small beach house I'd rented, the tension between us was unspoken, but heavy. The first night, we sat outside watching the sunset, the sky turning orange and pink, and she said softly, "You don't deserve how she's treated you." I wanted to argue to defend my wife, but I couldn't, because deep down I knew she was right. My wife had been gone long before she packed her bags. And then, without another word, Megan put her hand on mine. Just that simple touch. It lit something I hadn't felt in years. Maybe it was loneliness. Maybe it was anger. Or maybe it was the dangerous comfort of being seen. I wish I could say I stopped it there, that I walked away and did the right thing, but I didn't. The ocean roared in the distance, the air was warm, and her head was on my shoulder. One thing led to another, and by the time the sun rose, I'd done something I swore I never would. And for a moment, I didn't even feel guilty. For the first time in years, I felt wanted, alive, human. But the thing about moments like that is, they never last. The morning after, Megan was quiet. She didn't smile at breakfast. She didn't meet my eyes. When I asked if she regretted it, she whispered, "I don't know." That's when the guilt hit me, full force. Because I realized that while my wife may have walked away emotionally, I had just destroyed something beyond repair. We stayed the rest of the weekend in silence, pretending nothing happened, but the air between us was thick with everything unspoken. When we drove back home, my wife's car was already in the driveway. She was back early, standing on the porch, arms crossed, eyes sharp. My heart sank. I didn't know how much she knew, but she didn't say a word until Megan grabbed her bag and went inside. Then, my wife looked at me, cold, quiet, dangerous, and said, "Did you enjoy your break?" I didn't answer. There was nothing to say. She walked past me without another word, and I knew right then that she didn't need proof. She already knew. Maybe she saw it in my eyes. Maybe she saw it in Megan's, or maybe she just knew me too well. The next few weeks were hell. My wife packed her things, filed for separation, and told me not to contact her or her sister again. Megan left the same day, disappearing without saying goodbye. The house became silent again, emptier than ever. I tried reaching out once just to apologize, but neither of them responded, and maybe they shouldn't. I've replayed that week 1,000 times in my head, trying to understand why I did it. Maybe it was revenge, maybe it was weakness, or maybe it was just two broken people trying to feel something that wasn't pain. Whatever it was, it cost me everything. Now, when I sit alone at night, I think about how easy it is to lose everything you take for granted. My wife asked for space, but what she really wanted was effort. She wanted me to fight for her, not run from her. And I didn't see it until she was gone. I tell myself that one day, I'll forgive myself, that maybe I'll learn to live with what I did. But the truth is, some mistakes don't fade. They just live with you, quietly, like a scar under your skin, reminding you every day that love, once broken, never heals the same way again.